Hello, world. Hello, world, and welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. We're broadcasting live from the Joy virtual studio right here in the beautiful Finger Lakes region of New York State. It is so great to be with all of you today. It is Thursday, June 4th, and we have a lot to talk about on the Shannon Joy Show today. You see the headline of today's show, Trump-O-Mania and the American Idiocracy. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Idiocracy. We featured that. We debuted it on the Shannon Joy Show behind the Rumble Premium paywall. It shows us the future of this country as we continue down the path of the two-party, uniparty electoral system and just how bad things can get. And listen, I never thought the planners could top the ridiculousness of Weekend at Bernie's Biden presidency, which we coined in 2021 during his presidency. Remember, they kind of propped him up at all of the media events and the press conferences, and he was just kind of there. Everyone knew that he was not all there, but that didn't stop them from moving forward with the psyop. And we talked about that in 2021 regarding the Biden presidency. Well, now it seems to be the Trump-O-Mania presidency, which is going to take us to peak idiocracy with fake wars, fake pandemics, fake elections, fake assassinations, and fake fights with Bibi Netanyahu, all the way to a permanent UFC arena on the White House lawn. It's absolutely insane. The absurdity of this administration is breathtaking. And honestly, guys, to me, it all feels like mass submission and a mass humiliation ritual. Like they know that we know that all of this is fake. They are shoving it right in our faces and daring us to call them out on it. The sycophantic media on the left and the right actually treats these people as if they're real, and they're not. They're fake. They're puppets. And they're on the same team. And that's the biggest story in the United States of America that really no one else is reporting on. Well, more and more independent outlets, thank you, Jesus, are beginning to report on these types of things. But as you guys know, if you've been with us here on the Shannon Joy Show for the past 13 years, we are ahead of the curve in terms of this type of reporting. We called it out in, I want to say, 2016, 2017. And so, again, we should be laughing at all of this because it's ridiculous. We should be laughing at our insane leaders and the institutions and the absurdity of the psyops. But tragically, while the Idiocracy psyop is totally fake, the consequences of all of this are very real, and they will be devastating for millions of Americans. And so it's this weird, bizarre space where you just have to laugh at how insane this all is. But on the other hand, these lunatics are running the show, and they're driving this nation off a cliff in a million different ways, which we'll talk about today on the show. And as they're doing, they're all laughing at us on their way to the bank and their bunkers. We have a video of Ivanka Trump today channeling her full Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake, as she talks about the private island that she and Jared swam to and discovered in 2021 when we were all locked down, masked up, and being force injected. Ivanka was on a yacht with her husband, staking out where they're going to put their bunker in the future. It's absolutely absurd and it's insane. The disconnect between the elite controllers who are running everything and their corporate cronies, and you know what is happening in the real world to real people on Main Street. The divide is becoming greater and greater. And I think you're all sensing all of this. And so we're going to talk about that today on the Shannon Joy Show, among other things. The real question in all of this is how long will we remain in this insane simulation? And when we wrestle ourselves out of it, are we going to let them get away with it? So we got a lot to discuss. It's great to be with all of you today on the SJ Show. We're broadcasting live from Rumble, live on Twitter. We're on Spreely TV, Roku TV, and Apple TV, the SJ Show. is also available at your leisure via audio on every single podcast platform you can imagine. We're live on Facebook, live on Substack, live on YouTube. To everyone who is new to the Shannon Joy Show, I'm so glad that you are here. And if you like this show and you like our independent theme, right? Not left, not right, just the truth, straight up, no chasers, every day live at around 12:15 p.m. Eastern time. Please give the show a thumbs up, like the show, follow the Shannon Joy Show on your favorite platform, and join those live chats and make those comments, because that is how we grow organically here on the Shannon Joy Show. Future Ez, it is great to see you on the live chat on Rumble. Hey, Mav 2022, great to see you. Substitute the word vaccine with bioweapon, and we quickly see how ridiculous any of the overhauling is. Don't disagree with you there. Chronozone 777 is with us today on the SJ live chat on Rumble. CJP Rumble joins us as well. Who else do we have? Zen Woman, great to see you. Hey, everyone, hit that thumbs up, please, right now. That's right. On any of the platforms, like, share, comment, hit those thumbs up, because that helps us with those algorithms. We have Be My Valentine with us today. Hey, Mark the Regan, great to see you. CM 1968, great to see you. Hey, Lou, greetings to you as well. General Patton is with us on the live chat. Wag Todd R is with us. Good afternoon, everyone, from Central Pennsylvania. Love to see new faces, new names on the live chat. Hey, Opossum King, great to see you. And Garth Hilton is with us as well. Hey, Jen Patton, you're great. Yeah, thank you so much. We had a lot. I have a lot of videos for you guys today. We have more from Bobby Sauce, who is becoming one of my favorite aggregators and content creators on Twitter. He's super popular on TikTok and Instagram, has a massive following, like millions upon millions of followers. But I discovered him on TikTok, and we met in Kentucky when we were down as part of the independent content creators who drove down to Kentucky to help Thomas Massie with his primary election. And he's just fantastic. I have an awesome video to share with you. He is taking down Dan Bongino, and that just makes my heart sing. As you all recall, Dan Bongino doesn't like the Shannon Joy Show. He called me full of you know what and a piece of trash a couple years ago, called me out on Twitter. It's hilarious. And now he's yelling at his own audience. Apparently, now that Alex Jones, who, yes, I do tend to believe that Alex Jones is probably a psyop. He's probably part of intelligence, owned by intelligence. I get it. I know. But Alex Jones is calling out the Trump administration now, along with people like Megyn Kelly and people like Tucker Carlson. Now, these were all influencers and content creators who really pimped Trump during the 2024 primaries. Remember, we had a really great option in Ron DeSantis, but oh, no, that just was not even possible. Donald Trump was inevitable. The guy who locked us down, shut us down, created Operation Warp Speed, put Fauci in charge of everything, gave up his administration, handed mail-in ballots to the Democrats so that they could cheat in the elections of 2020. That same guy who did it all to us in the first place was apparently the only guy who could win in 2024. And so we chucked Ron DeSantis over our shoulder because Alex Jones, Dan Bongino, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, and the entirety of right-wing news media and in the influencer class shoved him down our throat. We didn't even get a debate. Remember that? They just canceled the primaries because Trump was inevitable. So I was really ticked off about that, obviously, and I called them all out about that, including Dan Bongino, because, well, it became evident that he was taking money from the Trump administration to pose as an influencer or content creator that was independent, an analyst, a political analyst, when he was really just a massively paid propagandist. And so we called him out on the Shannon Joy Show, and he ended up calling me a, piece of you-know-what and a piece of trash and full of you-know-what. So I always love it when someone takes down Dan Bongino. And Dan Bongino is now super mad because Alex Jones is critiquing Donald Trump. And, for good reason. I don't know if you guys know about this, but Section 2024 of the 2027 NDAA, that's the defense bill, it turns the U.S. military and intelligence over to the Israelis. Now, we're going to get into this a little bit more next week, but many are speculating that this is precisely the reason that Donald Trump and AIPAC needed to take Tom Massie out. It's because he would have opposed this provision, and it looks like it's going through. Alex Jones is lighting his hair on fire over this. He's pledging to go on a national podcast campaign with a bullhorn at the White House and Mar-a-Lago to protest at Congress and call for the impeachment of the president of the United States of America if this goes through. And Dan Bongino is super mad at Alex Jones. So Dan Bongino is now screaming at his audience every day, demanding that they see the psyop, that they understand, you're all so stupid. You need to see the psyop. And so our favorite guy, Bobby Sauce, has an answer to that. We're going to look at his video in just a minute. We're also going to look at a very important piece, very concise. It packs a punch. It's in the show notes of the Shannon Joy Show. From the Substack, Fear No Evil: Is the construction of data centers across the United States of America an act of war? We're going to go through this one with a fine-tooth comb, because this data center build out, we all know now, has nothing to do with AI, really has nothing to do with processing data or computing. It has more to do with the land grab and the seizure of land, hundreds of millions of acres of land by the protected technocratic elite, the corporate cronies of this administration, using eminent domain, subsidies, and also revisions and changes to zoning laws in localities and states across the country. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. And they also do plan to lock us in those digital prisons. This is a great piece. We're going to go through that a little bit later in the SJ show. Bitcoin is crashing. Peter Schiff has something to say about that. We have a video from Peter Schiff just recently on a frankly astonishing, it's falling apart at the seams. We have a report on that for Bitcoin. If you're still in Bitcoin, man, I don't know. Anyway, right now, though, I do want to say hello to all of you. I want to see your comments. Guitar Lily, I agree. It's war against the people. Hey, Gaelic Monkey, great to see you as well. Max Glickman is with us. Karate Man, yes, that's for sure. Dan Bongino. I wish I had the video of Dan Bongino doing his karate in his studio. The guy is crazy. The roid rage is real on the Dan Bongino show. In fact, he doesn't even really host it anymore. He has some chick who scrolls. They scroll. He's on it the same time I'm on every day. By the way, she scrolls through Twitter and Instagram, and that's really all she does. And then he comes on every once in a while when they need him to read the script for the Trump administration, which is just absurd. And we're going to look at that. But yeah, I posted out on Twitter today. It's summer. The kids are home. And they're home from, my oldest Jackson is home from college, and my daughter Mimi is graduating from high school this year, and she has a serious case of senioritis, by the way. My youngest Teddy is 14, and they're all around the house now. I wanted to post this out because I pushed it out on Twitter. And here's my house as we get started. I want to start just kind of settling in. The news of the day is so crazy. This is why I want to feature Bobby Sauce more on the SJ show as we get started, because we have to live a little bit. And I don't know about you guys, but this is my house. I pushed this out on socials this morning. Devastatingly handsome Dr. Joy, that's my husband, gets up today and is, outraged about the state of the kitchen. The kids, the pressure that these kids, when they come home and they're home all day and they're making breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the kitchen is insane, especially with my oldest. He comes home and my food bill doubles, okay? And they just eat so much. And the inflation doesn't help, believe me. So we have, food costs going up by 25%. And, my son is home from college, goes up 50%. It's insane. $400 a week. It's crazy. It's crazy the amount of money that we spend. But so the kids, they're animals. They're animals in our kitchen. And so Devastating this morning was not happy about it and was I'm not cleaning up the kitchen. I'm not getting anything out of the sink. And because, we're going to wait for the kids to, to clean it all up. But I can't stand an untidy kitchen. So this is what I did this morning. This was my bright idea. You tell me, guys, this is my actual kitchen. I'm going to pull this up. That's it. I wonder if I can move it over. There we go. That's better. All right. So that's my sink. And that's the note on the sink. I don't know if you can see it, but see, I had this great idea that I would just leave a little, like I'd block off the whole sink and just leave a little area so people could wash their dishes. Paper plates. I see you, CJP Rumble. This is what the note said. So if you can't see the note, no dishes are allowed in the sink. If you have a dish, you must stack the dish in the dishwasher. If the dishwasher is full, unstack the dishwasher and then stack your dish in the dishwasher. If the dishwasher is running, then wash your dish, dry it, and put it away. Okay? And all pots and pans must be washed, dried, and put away. And that's the state of my kitchen. And see, look, you can't put anything in the sink. And I think it's brilliant. And I think that it's going to work. We're going to train the kids. Chronozone 777. This is why I live alone. Well, so then I sent the picture to Devastatingly Handsome, and we have a group chat called The Fam. That's where, we all communicate. And I said to him, did you see the picture? Did you see my solution to the problem? And he's like, well, no, because I like to put my dishes in the sink. And I'm like, well, okay. And he does like to put his dishes in the sink, but I never understood that. Like, it takes just as much energy. Like, he likes to stack the sink, right? So if you're going to stack the sink, it takes just as much time and energy. If you're going to rinse the dish and place it in the sink, it takes just as much time and energy to rinse the dish and literally lean to your left and place the dish in the dishwasher. Like, there's not much more time and energy involved in stacking the dishwasher in comparison to stacking the sink, right? So just put it in the dishwasher and you're going to eliminate the middleman. I don't get it. Mav 2022. I'm a sink stacker, but also the dish doer. Zen woman. I have a camp kitchen utensil set for car, work, and home. Yeah, I love my sink, but I think this is going to work. I think if I keep the sink all taped up, right, for the next couple of days, we'll train everyone to do the right thing. Okay? So that's what's going on in my house. Kids are home, and it's great. It's great. Mav 2022, unless the dishwasher is full of clean dishes and no one empties it. I'm just saying, if the dishwasher is full of clean dishes, then empty it. Then rinse your dish and put it in. That's what I do. I'm not asking them to do anything that I wouldn't do, is all I'm saying. Gaelic Monkey, I have the same problem with my husband. He refuses to touch the dishwasher. Devastatingly Handsome Joy is good. I mean, I got a good one in Devastatingly Handsome Dr. Joy. Not only is he devastatingly handsome and a great provider and a fantastic father, but he does dishes, he stacks dishes, he does laundry, he folds laundry, he does all of the yard work. He's super handy at the house. I really lucked out. All right, well, let's get to first let's thank our sponsors. Before we get to Bobby Sauce and his takedown of Dan Bongino, which I absolutely love, I do want to thank the sponsors of the Shannon Joy Show. Thank you to the Wellness Company. Thank you to our friends over at the Satellite Phone Store. Dom Polano over at PCM and Associates. He is my financial advisor. I trust him implicitly, and he can be your financial advisor as well. He's opening up his practice across the country. So you can find out all about Dom Polano and his financial services at pcmpolano.com. That is pcmpolano.com. Dom has been with me since the very beginning. He was the very first advertiser on the Shannon Joy Show, and we've worked together for over 15 years. He keeps his head on straight and is just an amazing advisor, and I am absolutely proud to announce that, he's bringing his services to all of you. So PCM Polano, if you want a financial advisor that you can trust, go to pcmpolano.com. That's pcmpolano.com. And of course, we are super thankful for Peter Schiff and the folks over at Schiff Gold. Things are moving pretty fast in the markets. We've talked about that on the SJ show this past week and even last week. You're going to be hearing from him. We have a 4-minute clip on why he thinks that Bitcoin is going to crater to 20,000 potentially in the next couple weeks. So we have that video clip ready for you a little bit later in the program. But of course, we're super thankful for the sponsorship of Schiff Gold as well. So you guys are going to see these advertisers as we go to break. If you are in the market for any of their products or services, go ahead and make sure that you use the URL that we're presenting and also the JOY promo code so that they know that we sent you, or so that our advertisers know that we sent you. Skillful Lark, my sink stays empty most of the time. Girth Hilton, interesting. The dishwasher is the most useful appliance ever made. I totally disagree. I love my dishwasher. I think it's brilliant. It's wonderful. Garth, just wash dry and put it back in the cupboard. Well, Garth, listen, when you're cooking a lot, you have a family of 5, and the kitchen is under a lot of pressure, especially when the kids are home for summer, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And they all have different concoctions that they want to make. And the messes that these kids can make, it's just mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. Anyway, yeah. So thank you to our sponsors, though. We are so thankful for them. And let's get to the dishwasher is a CIA plot. You're so funny. Let's take a look. So this, Dan Bongino is now calling out all the psyops, even though he is the biggest psyop on the planet. This is in relation to, some of the concerns that are incredibly valid by people like Alex Jones about Section 2024 of the 227 NDAA. It's essentially turning the U.S. military and intelligence over to the Israelis, which is crazy. And so Alex Jones is speaking out about that. Dan Bongino is mad because it's exposing Donald Trump. And as we all know, Dan Bongino is paid to promote Donald Trump. So this is what Bobby Sauce had to say to Dan Bongino. And I just thought it was delicious and it's hilarious. And I thought I would run it for you on Dan Bongino with a straight face trying to take us off the set of the psyop that he says is Alex Jones. It's insane. Here we go. Take a look.
Recognize an op. Recognize an op.
Here's your daily dose of lacking self-awareness.
If you think all of these people out there screaming endlessly about Epstein and the Jews and everything.
Oh, Epstein and the Jays. Interesting. So you, Dan? So you mean you, Dan? Do you think that we're stupid, Dan? Do you not think that we have the internet? Do you not think that we all saw the videos of you talking about Epstein? Dan, none of us changed, Dan. Our opinions are the same, Dan. We watched and listened to you, Dan. Never give this story up. There's something fishy about this story, Dan. And we didn't just wake up one day and say, oh, we're just going to take Dan's word for it after he got paid by the admin. After
That's right.
On the inside, to get rid of all the deep state, stayed for 11 months, then retired and came back to yell at us about how stupid we are for listening to what you said, Dan. And you want to say, oh, it's the Jays. That's a convenient way of dismissing an entire country, Dan, that has a lot of influence over our country, Dan. It's not about their religion. It's not about the people that they are. It's about the government that runs them and their interference and involvement in our government, Dan. That's a convenient tactic that they use to dismiss the whole concern outright. Dan, do you think we're stupid, Dan?
The Massey types.
Oh, the Massey types. You mean the America First types, Dan?
Have any kind of grassroots effort behind them.
See, that's the thing, Dan. You got it backwards and upside down, brother. That is the grassroots, Dan. You're not the grassroots anymore, Dan. How come it's all the paid social media accounts, all the people that are directly connected to the admin or were once in the admin? How come they're the ones that are still singing this song and dance? How come it's the Salem Media Group podcasters, Dan? Is that the grassroots? How come it's the people that got out that everybody suddenly hates all of a sudden that are the ones that are realizing this, Dan? Are Turning Point paid contributors the grassroots? Are content syndicate podcasters and social media accounts, is that the grassroots? Are the Trump looks so handsome in his red tie, is that the grassroots, Dan?
Why do they need money from overseas from these guys?
That's ironic.
The answer is because no one actually believes a lot of this crap they're spouting.
That's where you got it wrong, Dan. No one believes you, Dan.
No one believes you. How come Trump keeps winning and you keep... Just answer the fucking question.
Oh my
If
gosh.
Trump's so powerful and keep winning, why'd they need $20 million to buy Massey's seat,
That's
Dan?
right.
Who provided that money, Dan? Who? Whom, Dan? Whom provided that money, Dan?
If it stinks like an op, it gallops like an op. and it looks like an op. It's an op.
You're the op.
Bro, you're the op.
Yes.
You are the op, Dan. You are the op. Oh my God, guys, you should watch this new paid podcast with Sean Hannity. Hang out with Sean Hannity. When I text Sean Hannity, he responds back. Fox News Corp. Paid podcast syndicate. Oh, the guy that works at this thing is a registered foreign agent. You're the op, Dan.
You are the op, Dan Bongino, and I love that so much because it's exactly what I was saying in 2024 and 2023 when Dan Bongino led the op to deny the Republican Party and Republican voters a primary when they took out Ron DeSantis prematurely, wouldn't even allow a debate, and just anointed Donald Trump the king of the GOP. That was the op, and I love to see Bobby Sauce take him down. He is one of my favorite. His handle on Twitter is @TakeNaps because Bobby Sauce likes to take naps. And yes, that was a putting green in his backyard, and he is a classic Dago. And I can say so because I'm Italian myself. Absolutely amazing. Amazing. I was on it, Zen Woman. You all know that I was the only girl out there all by my lonesome, out on a limb, telling the truth to all of you about what was going down. And, well, no one ever listens to me. But, we're learning. Trump is winning. Yeah, that's right. @TakeNaps, Bobby Sauce. And we're going to bring Bobby Sauce into the Joy Virtual Studio. I want to have him on as a regular guest because he makes me laugh. And I need to laugh more because we are living in dystopia. This is a nightmare. Our leaders are crazy. They're lunatics, sociopaths, narcissistics. They're insane. They don't even seem real. Did you see the video of Ivana Trump talking about her private island? I have that for you in a little bit. Like, these people are insane. And we're living in this crazy simulation. And if I don't laugh, I'm going to stick my head in the oven. So Bobby Sauce is coming on the show, and we're going to feature more and more of his videos because I think he's great. He's also, he's quite intelligent. His analysis on a lot of these things, it's very good. It's high level. It's, 300, 400 level political analysis, but he makes it super interesting. And I just love great content creators like that. By the way, Owen Schroyer is going to be with us next week live in the Joy Virtual Studio. He is booked, which is super exciting. He's going to join us on Tuesday next week. We have Dr. Joe Sansone, who is going to be with us next week as well. We're going to talk about his new book, Psychopathic Authoritarianism and the Cults. We are a nation of political cults. Donald Trump is a cult leader, and we need to rip our fellow Americans out of their cults. There are Democratic cults as well. We saw that during the lockdowns of 2020. We saw that during the Biden administration. We know that the left-wing cult exists, but I've never seen anything like the Trump cult and the command that this man has over such a large subset of the Republican Party. Unbelievable. The craziest thing about the Trump administration is that we actually reelected the guy who did it to us in the first place. That's the epitome of cult worship, right? The guy who locked us down, the guy who handed the government over to Anthony Fauci, the guy who initiated Operation Warp Speed, the guy who printed trillions upon trillions of dollars during the lockdowns of 2020, which have led us to the inflation crisis that we are experiencing today, which is only going to get worse. All right. The guy that handed over the election to Biden through the administration of mail-in ballots because of the pandemic, that's the guy that we, number one, nominated again to be our candidate and then elected to be the president of the United States of America. That's crazy. That means our population, we the people, are crazy and we're in a cult. So we need to understand this and learn how to break out of the cult. We have to understand how cults are created, modern day cults, using figures like Donald Trump and mass media, adjacent media that normalizes this behavior. There is a UFC stadium in the lawn of the White House, okay? And Donald Trump says that it's going to stay there forever and likens it to the Eiffel Tower. And everyone's like, yeah, okay. They are building a 6-layer deep bunker data center, command center under the ballroom in the White House. And everyone's just like, oh, okay, all right. Like, crazy town. Donald Trump is engaging in a fake fight with Bibi Netanyahu, a fake fight with Elon Musk. And everyone's just like, wow, yeah. We have left-wing news media reporting on this with a straight face. Right-wing news media justifying this with a straight face. They're printing trillions of dollars. They're telling us, right? I'm going to the grocery store and dropping $500 a week in groceries. And they're telling me that there's no such thing as inflation, that there's no, like, come on. I mean, this is crazy. It's crazy. And so the way to deal with the cult is to call out the cult. And Dr. Joe Sansone is a psychologist. I'm going to get on the armchair and we're going to work through all of this. His book is Psychopathic Authoritarianism. And we're going to be talking about fear and trauma-based control, fear and trauma-based manipulation, victim casting and villain casting, hero casting for isolation and division, a little bit about the Hegelian dialectic, a series of false choices, of a lesser of two evil, which leads to just plain evil. We're going to talk about how the cult is built and how to avoid the cult, how to protect yourself from the cult worship of political idols, and then also how to break people out. You guys know my mission in 2026 is to help people get out of the Trump cult. So I have my Adopt a Boomer program. We're going to talk about that. Yeah, CJP Rumble. I bet Bobby Sauce calls sauce sauce and not gravy. I bet you're right. I bet you're right. A UFC stadium in the front lawn of the White House. That's them saying to us, like, it's like broadcasting that this is all fake. It's kayfabe. It's all fake wrestling, fake fighting. I don't trust anything that comes out of this administration at this point. And, and now they're just, that's why I say it's a humiliation ritual. They're putting that in the front lawn to mess with us. I swear that's what they're doing. And you guys think so too. So we're going to take a look. So thank you to Bobby Sauce for the amazing takedown of Dan Bongino. So next week, Owen Schroyer on Tuesday. He recently left the Trump train and he's been fantastic. I cannot wait to interview him, full hour. On Wednesday, we have Dr. Joe Sansone on the cults. And on Thursday, I am so thrilled to welcome Ainsley Brown. I don't know if you have seen her reporting, but Ainsley has taken it upon herself in the great state of Georgia to try and help save her mother's home, which is being taken via eminent domain along with 300 other homes in the red state of Georgia for what? The data centers, but not specifically data centers. The power lines that will be necessary to power the data centers are now being imposed upon homeowners, and they are seizing their land, and it's horrifying. So I have a quick clip from Ainsley Brown that I'll play for you today. And yeah, CJP Rumble, Daniel Horowitz had Ainsley on his show last week. It was an amazing interview. So I texted Daniel and I said, hey, can I poach your guest? Because she's unbelievable. So we're going to have her for a full hour on the SJ Show on Thursday. Week after, Sasha Latapova, and I am working on Ed Dowd as well to talk about what's happening with the economy. And the economy is rapidly disintegrating. Everything that I have told you about the economy, the pump and dumps, and the bubble that is AI is happening. It's coming true. I have a little bit for you on that today. But we are going to focus on those data centers, and we're going to look at this piece from Fear No Evil Substack written by Emmanuel Pastrique. Is the construction of those data centers an act of war? And so everything is crazy. And this is, again, the bizarre world that we live in today. Utter absurdity from the White House, utter absurdity in the halls of Congress, utter absurdity that is not being called out by our institutions, the media, the judicial system, our infrastructure, the bureaucracy, all of them really, propping up the insane leaders. Again, the weekend at Bernie's Biden administration where they propped up a corpse for 4 years and just laughed at us and said, dare us to do something about this, or they're daring us to say something about it. Right? So they've just shifted to the next psyop, and I'm calling it the Trump-O-Mania Presidency. By the way, I think that we coined the Weekend at Bernie's Biden administration on this show. I think we were the very first. And I hear it all the time, people likening his administration, because that's what it was. It was blatant. It was in our faces. And even worse, the institutions around the Biden administration were pretending like it was legitimate. It's the epitome of the emperor has no clothes, that little children's story. It's actually not a children's story. It's political satire by Hans Christian Adamson. Or no, Hans Christian, I can't remember his name. Anyway, this was political satire. And essentially the entire, village and all the townspeople and all the adults and all the reasonable people in the room were, drawn into this cult, the emperor, and, basically all adopted the lie that he was wearing beautiful clothes when he was actually naked. And I should read that sometime on the show, because it is a wonderful piece of political satire, and it is exactly what we're dealing with today. Zen woman. We're going to go to break in a minute, but I do want to say hello to all of you. If you guys can do me a favor right now on Rumble, if you are watching and you haven't said hello on the live chat, I want to welcome you and say hello to you. So if you're watching live on Rumble, please hit that live chat and say hello. I'll say hi back to you. Also, if you guys are on the live chat or you're watching, give us those thumbs up right now. Let's push this broadcast out. Again, as you know, we don't get any algorithmic preference here on Rumble. Dan Bongino gets it. He's at the top of the fold every day on Editor's Pick. We have to work for it here on the Shannon Joy Show, and I can only do it with all of you. So if you're watching right now on Rumble, thumbs up, like or comment in the comment section. And the best thing that you can do to help us with that algorithm is to join the live chat and say hello. So if you're watching right now, see, it's already working. We already added like 30 new viewers, because you guys are helping us out there. So thumbs up, likes, and join that live chat on Rumble, and that will help us to grow. So we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at this piece regarding the data centers. Is the construction of data centers across the U.S. an act of war? It's a great piece. We're going to look at that when we come back right here on the Shannon Joy Show. When you are shopping at the wellness company, make sure that you use the JOY promo code. It's going to get you lots of goodies, free shipping. When you are shopping at the wellness company, make sure that you use the JOY promo code. It's going to get you lots of goodies, free shipping, a percentage off of your order every single time, whether it's an emergency kit or ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, whether it's a second opinion. So many people are benefiting from the telehealth that is provided at the wellness company. If you don't trust the opinion of your doctor, if you want a second opinion, if you don't trust a diagnosis, this is a way for you to go out, take control of your own health. You can get your own second opinion at the wellness company. The emergency medical kits are absolutely amazing. The contagion kit, every American needs an emergency medical kit in their home. It is an amazing source of peace of mind. You will have the life-saving prescriptions that you need, antibiotics, things like ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. Sometimes in an emergency situation, certain medications are hard to get on purpose. You don't have to worry about that when you are prepared with that emergency kit. In fact, one of the listeners of the Shannon Joy Show mentioned that she purchased her emergency care kit about 8 months ago and has already used it 3 times. How amazing is that? Sometimes you just need access to that prescription. You don't have time to get to the doctor. It's such an easy process. You go to twc.health/joy. That's twc.health/joy. And you sign up. You have a consultation with one of the wellness company doctors. They work out all of your prescriptions, get them ready for you. You assemble the kit, and it is in your home on your doorstep about a week and a half later. It is such an easy process. And with the Joy promo code, you're going to get $60 off your emergency kit. It is worth every penny. People absolutely love it. And you'll get $60 off plus free shipping when you go to twc.health/joy. That's twc.health/joy, and absolutely use that JOY promo code because it's a huge discount. Hey everyone, I am so proud to recommend Shift Gold to this audience as the gold standard for metals purchasing and investing. I couldn't ask for a better partner to help people understand gold and silver and use them as strategic instruments to protect their family's financial future. Peter Schiff's teaching on markets has shaped my understanding of how economies grow and why they collapse. And I've used him as a critical source for my daily broadcast for over 10 years. The Shannon Joy Show audience already knows and loves Peter because he has been such a treasured educator over the years. He is now the preeminent source for rock solid financial analysis around the world. And this is because he understands the immutable laws of natural markets and his stalwart unwillingness to veer from absolute truths, regardless of economic fads and political pressures. Bottom line, he doesn't sell out. And that means a lot to me. I trust Shift Gold, and you can too. Go to shiftgold.com/joy today to get started. You'll find some of the lowest spot prices for gold and silver and critical information on protecting your retirement savings with a gold or silver IRA. That's www.shiftgold.com/joy. Hedge against the chaos with our friends over at Shift Gold. There we go. There we go. Yep. The very first shumble, and that was a real shumble. This is when me, Shannon, I fumble on Rumble or stumble on Rumble because I'm self-producing. And yeah, we had no sound there. Thank you guys so much for your alarms. Zen woman, looking gorgeous, but we can't hear you. And now I want to know how many of you were lip reading. What did I say? Tell me back what I said. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you guys so much. I have the best audience. Unbelievable. Forgot to turn my mic on from the break. My bad. My bad. And you guys all get a kick out of it. I love. Hey, by the way, thank you guys so much. In the break, I know that a bunch of you joined the live chat, said hello, gave this show a thumbs up on Rumble, and commented because we added about 100 new viewers in just 2 or 3 minutes. So that is so meaningful, guys. Keep doing it. Keep joining the live chat and commenting because it's how we grow the show. So I'm really thankful for our viewers over at YouTube as well. So we have an amazing growing audience on YouTube and an amazing chat there as well. Hey, Sharon, great to see you watching on YouTube. This is what Sharon has to say. Yes, both Biden and Trump are examples of Weekend at Bernie's. The movie was funny, but the real thing is insane and dangerous. And Cher, I totally agree with you. The movie Idiocracy also predicted the insanity that we are dealing with today in the United States of America with this WWE fake fighting between the two political parties and has culminated in, I kid you not, a literal UFC arena being erected in front of the lawn in front of the White House. Permanently, says Donald Trump, because it's as beautiful as the Eiffel Tower, which is just crazy. It's crazy. They are signaling to us blatantly that this is all fake, that they're puppets, right? They're not real, but the cult is real. And the power of the cult and the power of the cult leader is very real as well. And so, Sharon, I completely agree with you there. Deepwater One, thank you so much for being with us on YouTube. Again, same goes for YouTube. If you guys are watching right now, please give us a like, a follow, join that live chat, leave a comment, because that helps us to grow. Deepwater One, we know they are lying. They know they are lying. They know we know they are lying. We know that they are lying, but they are still lying. And it's absolutely true. And they're just daring us to do something. Like, they're just now flaunting it, like right in our faces. And this video of Ivanka Trump this has sparked outrage among all Americans, left, right, young, old, because it shows just how absolutely tone deaf these political leaders, this political class, this oligarchical class that is seizing power and blatantly plundering this country right in front of our face, they're laughing about it. And I have the video that, people are just, they are incensed about this. I mean, you get very serious Marie Antoinette vibes here of let them eat cake. The fact that she would talk about this is just insane. And there's something just really disturbing about this video. And I couldn't quite put my finger. It's like kind of unnerving. I want to know if you guys pick up on it. But here's a 2-minute video of Ivanka Trump talking about 2021, when all the little people in the United States of America were locked down. We were locked in our boxes. We were masked up and forced jabbed. They put, hundreds of thousands of businesses out of business. They absolutely abused the American people. They lied to us about the pandemic. They ran us through absolutely absurd countermeasures like 6 weeks to slow the spread and the ridiculous masking, wear a filthy rag over your face to prevent the spread of an aerosolized airborne virus, which is insane. It's like rice through chicken wire, and they knew it. But see, it's the humiliation and submission ritual. They need to make us do absurd things and see that we follow them, even though everyone knows it's absurd, in order to maintain their power. That's how they know they have a secure vice-like grip on the minds and the bodies of the American people. But this is what she had to say. Tell me what you think.
I'm working on an incredible project with my husband in the Mediterranean. It's massive in scale.
I think that's an understatement. Can you explain?
Yes, it is.
There's no power on this island. You're building everything from scratch. Correct.
Well, it's an unbelievable, beautiful 1,400 hectare private island in the middle of the Mediterranean.
Oh my gosh.
We were on a friend's boat and we stopped for a swim. Effectively, that's how we found it. We swam to the islands. We went on a hike, barefoot all the way up to the top, and we were just captivated. And it stayed with us ever since. And over the course of many years, we developed the opportunity to help realize its potential and transform it, but with a lot of restraint and care, because the land is so beautiful that really the architecture has to be fully integrated into it, almost rise from it. It's not even a business for me, despite the scale of it. We not only the island, but we have 5 miles of beachfront directly across from the island, this beautiful peninsula with a lagoon on one side, the ocean on the other, beautiful white sand beaches. For me, it feels more like a challenge than anything else. The culmination of all of my experience in real estate, all of my travel.
Oh my gosh, I can't even watch it anymore. I can't even watch it anymore. It's absolutely disgusting. It's disgusting. She talks about the restraint and care that they're taking with the land because it's so pristine and so beautiful. Meanwhile, they are like running over average Americans. They are bulldozing their way through the interior of the United States of America, stealing farmland, stealing homes, turning this beautiful country into a parking lot for data centers and big tech. But she wants to take care and restraint for the beautiful Mediterranean island that they discovered in 2021 when you were all locked down, when they were seizing your businesses, destroying this economy, destroying lives and bodies, injecting you with poison. which her father, the president of the United States, started. Then he handed it off to Biden, right? They're on their yacht and they swam out to the real estate. You know, this is the way these people need to go to prison, because not only, and how are they getting all this money? We know that the Trump family has doubled their net worth in just the past year and a half, from somewhere around 2 to 3 billion to 7 to 8 billion. It's probably 10 billion at this point. Okay, they are just stuffing money in their pockets. They are raising and plundering this country, destroying everything. Everything. It's insane. Absolutely insane. And a lot of people, CJP Rumble, I'm going to throw up. You should. It's grotesque. She's grotesque. She's entitled and grotesque. When people are suffering, when they can't afford their electric bills, they can't afford their groceries, they're losing their homes. The American people are buried under debt that they didn't incur. It was profligate spending and money printing in Washington, D.C. over the last 50, 60 years. The corporate class, the political class, lying, stealing, plundering, cheating, and destroying this country. We'd be better off if they just left us all alone and we had free markets. We can figure this out. It's the vice grip that this criminal class has on the levers of power in Washington, D.C. that is destroying America, not we the people. We're doing everything we can to save our country. You're turning out at town hall meetings. You're turning out for elections. You're turning out for zoning meetings. You're making your voice heard. You're organizing. They're not listening to us. And so we need to organize more and turn out more and begin to engage in a lot of activities other than just voting every 2 to 4 years. Civil disobedience, peaceful noncompliance, organization for tax revolts, strikes, boycotts, a refusal to comply with unjust laws, immoral laws. Everything but the kitchen sink, we the people need to throw at this grotesque, predator, narcissistic class of people that we just witnessed in that statement with Ivana Trump. Disgusting. And what was so unnerving about that video was the fact that it did look like AI. Someone pointed that out to me when I posted it out on Twitter and said the weirdest thing is that I couldn't tell. And as I've watched it again, I can't tell if that's really her. If that was AI generated or if that was actually her. One of you in the live chat mentioned that it looked like a green screen. I agree. What do you all think about that? I mean, how does that make you feel? The fact that we're being gaslit by these people, lied to and plundered. Skillful lark, virtually monotone voice says it all. I know, like she's so like put together. I'm not that put together. I'm freaking pissed. I can't take this. I hate bullies. I despise bullies. And I despise people who abuse other people who are weaker than them. I can't stand it. She's a dud, says CJP Rumble. She's a dud with a Mediterranean island. We're going to use restraint and care for their land. Yet they have no restraint and no care for our land, our private property rights, our ownership, our pursuit of happiness, our Bill of Rights, our Constitution. They have no restraint or care when it comes to this nation, which is in their hands. Gosh, they're such terrible stewards, terrible, terrible, terrible stewards of what they are given. Strident Conservative, did you know that the island has about 360 bomb shelters that Jared says he will preserve? Well, of course. It's just yet another one of their bunkers. The bunker, bomb shelter, data center build-outs right in front of our faces. And none of this is being appropriately reported on by right or left-wing news media. None of it. The only place where you'll get this analysis is in the independent news media space, which we have been here at the Shannon Joy Show for the past 13 years. A lot of great independents out there. I'm going to be introducing you to some of the best. Owen Schroyer, as I mentioned, next week is going to be with us. And in terms of these data centers, We're going to be talking to Ainsley Brown, who is an amazing grassroots bottom-up organizer out of the great state of Georgia. And we're going to have her on next week as well. And of course, Dr. Joe Sansone, our favorite psychotherapist, to talk to us about cults and the American cults, the cults of America, because that's really what's dominating the left and the right wing, the left and right wings of the populace here in the US. So it's insane. So what do you guys think about that? Would love to hear from those of you who are watching on YouTube. Please like and share, give us a thumbs up, and leave a comment. I'm going to be taking some of your comments after we come back from the commercial break. But yeah, that was really, really disgusting. Really disgusting. And speaking of independence, you know, it's just crazy how, you know, the establishment media has dropped the ball in every aspect, you know, left and right wing. You know, the left wing sycophantic media looked the other way during the weekend at Bernie's Biden presidency when they propped up a corpse in front of the American people and they like interviewed him with a straight face. You know, they basically enabled all of that. And right now, the right-wing news media is enabling the Trump-O-Mania presidency, where all of it is KFAB or KeyFab, right? Clones Shannon versus Ivanka MMA. Yeah, funny. I take her down totally. Like, you know, I'm scrappy. You guys know that. Oh my gosh. That's going to be misread as a threat. Erase it. Clones, you led me into that. CJP Rumble, great to see you. Zen Woman, great to see you. KC1212 says it's time to bring back the age-old tradition of tarring and feathering. Garth Hilton says fiat currency has been the main lever for destruction. We must get legal tender in as many states as possible if we want to be free. Transactionalgold.com. I love the idea of transactional gold. And when we come back, speaking of that, we're going to take a look at a 4-minute video from Peter Schiff, because Peter Schiff, again, sponsor of the Shannon Joy Show, regular contributor. We have Peter on every single month on the SJ Show to talk about the markets, to talk about Bitcoin, to talk about gold and silver, crypto, tokens, all of the things. I trust him implicitly. He has been consistent for over 10 years. That's why he's been one of my best sources on this show for over 10 years. And the wheels are falling off of the Bitcoin jalopy as I speak to you right now. Really big moves over the past couple of days. He had something to say about that. He's predicting that Bitcoin is going to go down to 20,000. I don't disagree. So now is the time. And as you guys know, we've been talking about the incoming pump and dump, the AI bubble, and how these big tech companies like SpaceX and OpenAI, as they move to go public, they're raising a ton of money. And as soon as they go public, they're going to try to shift their failing companies on the pensions and 401ks and retirement accounts of average Americans. So they're going to exit their companies, they're going to take their profits, and they're going to leave the corpse or the carcass of that company for the American people to take the losses. That's what's incoming, and we've been discussing that over the past few days here in the Shannon Joy Show. But Bitcoin plays into this, and we're going to take a look at what Peter Schiff has to say about that after we come back from the commercial break. But this is the headline from Zero Hedge, right? As we're seeing Bitcoin fall apart, as inflation ramps up again, as we begin to realize that the money printers are going to start up again and it's only going to get worse, we're now seeing gold and silver rally again. Zero Hedge with this headline: central bank gold buying rebounding in April from a dramatic March sell-off. Peter Schiff had this to say about Bitcoin. The Bitcoin chart looks really bad, but check out the rest of crypto. The Ethereum chart looks worse, and the Solana chart looks worse than that. Everything looks like it's about to implode. So far, the selling has been very orderly with no signs of panic, but that will likely change soon. He also said this: it looks like the correction in the tech stocks So not just Bitcoin, but that bubble that we are talking about has finally begun. That's bad news for Bitcoin and the tech stocks, as the tech rally was its main support. As we see the tech stocks begin to sell off, Bitcoin should crash. Gold will likely head in the opposite direction as investors now finally begin to buy a true safe haven asset. We haven't seen huge gains in gold and silver because the dominance of the PSYOP, the marketing campaign, the propaganda campaign that has been waged against the American people and against the markets over the past 3 years, hyping up the AI bubble relentlessly. I've never seen anything like it. At some point, people are going to realize, and investors are going to realize, retail investors and institutional investors are going to realize that there's no there there. And everybody is realizing it now. I'm seeing it all over my social media. Everything that we told you here on the Shannon Joy Show is coming true. And this is when people move into safe haven assets. Safe haven assets for, the entirety of human history have been gold and silver, predominantly gold. If you do not have a gold strategy, I want to highly encourage you to go to shiftgold.com/joy. That is shiftgold.com/joy ASAP, like today, to get your metal strategy in place. At Shift Gold, you can buy and sell physical gold and silver. You can explore hedging against the chaos with a gold or silver-backed IRA. And he even has an option for tokenized gold, which gives you the ability to buy physical gold and silver. You don't take custody of it, but you can buy it in smaller chunks. So you can allocate $50, $100, $200 a month to that tokenized gold. And as soon as you hit a certain threshold, you can trade it in and you can actually take custody of your physical gold and silver. It's a great option for people who don't have enough money to meet those reserves if you're buying physical gold and silver, and for younger investors, people who want to begin to hedge. So that's shiftgold.com/joy. shiftgold.com/joy. All right, we're going to be back in a moment. We're going to take a quick break here, and then we're going to come back with Peter Schiff. 4-minute clip on what is going down with Bitcoin. If you're a holder of Bitcoin, stay tuned. You're going to want to watch this clip. And if you know someone who holds Bitcoin, you might want to send it to them as well. We'll be back in a moment to continue this discussion right here on the Shannon Joy Show.
This is Jennifer with darkbags.com. I wanted to show you one of our newest products from Escape Zone. This is our satellite Faraday sleeve. So it actually will fit your satellite phone, which we've noticed that there wasn't any product on the market that perfectly fit them, so we decided to make them ourselves. And it has this Velcro closure right here to close it up, and that makes this dust and water resistant. So what's nice about this Faraday pouch is that it'll protect against any EMPs. So your emergency device actually will always be protected in here as long as it stays in here. You can take it out for everyday use, but if you're not using it, we recommend that you store it in here. Again, this is available on darkbags.com.
Hey everyone, I just want to take a moment to thank one of my longtime friends, associates, my financial advisor, and a beloved sponsor of the Shannon Joy Show, Dom Polano over at PCM and Associates. Dom Polano, as many of you know, was the very first Shannon Joy Show advertiser almost 12 years ago, and he's been with us ever since. I trust Dom Polano. He manages some of my assets and my retirement fund, and he's offering his services to all of you. He can take clients anywhere in the country and even across the globe over at PCM and Associates. And as you guys know, it is so important today. There's so much volatility and chaos. You need a human being, a person that you trust, and a person that shares your values. And that's Dom Polano at PCM and Associates. So if you are looking for someone to help you manage your retirement or have investment advice, please consider calling Dom Polano over at PCM and Associates. His number, 1-800-536-1368. That's 888-536-1368. And of course, you can go to pcmpolano.com. That is pcmpolano.com to learn about all of his services and get in contact with his team. Again, so thankful for Don Polano at PCM and Associates, and I think that you are really going to appreciate his services. So that number again, 1-800-536-1368 for a financial advisor that you can trust. Welcome back, everyone, to the Shannon Joy Show. I absolutely adore Don Polano. He's one of my favorite people on the planet, and he can be your financial advisor too. So make sure you go to pcmpolano.com, pcmpolano.com. All right, we have about 20 minutes left in the Shannon Joy Show, and here's the agenda. We're going to take a look at what Peter Schiff has to say about Bitcoin, because the wheels are falling off the jalopy. In fact, the wheels are kind of falling off of everything right now. Consumer sentiment in the United States of America at an all-time low. Regular Americans on Main Street are completely disconnected from the elite political class and what's going on Wall Street. Everyone knows that all of the gains on Wall Street, that 51,000 number, is because of the money printers printing money, shoving it into the pockets of their cronies, and then they trade it with each other. And that's the Magnificent Seven. The tech companies that are dominating the gains in the stock market. Well, all of that is about to fall apart as people realize that AI is a total scam. It's not going to work, and it's way more expensive than the humans it was meant to replace. Meanwhile, they're using AI and that entire psyop to justify the largest land grab we've ever seen in United States history. Hundreds of millions of acres now being seized, or they're attempting to seize those acres using eminent domain and help from the president of the United States of America and they're justifying it using the AI arms race with China. But by the way, AI is a total scam. All right. So it's just, none of it is jiving anymore. None of it makes any sense anymore. And this is why the wheels are falling off of all of the jalopies, okay? And so we're starting with these tech stocks, the bubble, it's about to burst. Even Robert Kiyosaki, who is the rich dad, poor dad guy, is now admitting this. Peter Schiff is talking about it. It's going mainstream, and the chickens are going to come home to roost for all of us, unfortunately. So, but this is why we're seeing all of this. And what Peter has to say about Bitcoin is going to be very instructive. And we'll have him on again, of course, in a couple of weeks. Then we're going to after that, we're going to pivot. And then I want to get your comments on all that, what you think. And then we're going to pivot to this piece, which I want to end on today, which is really important. It's really important. We have to understand, I think that the appropriate tenor and the appropriate posture of the American people today should be one of, or it should involve understanding that our own government is hostile. Our own government is an enemy of the United States of America. They are the enemies of Americans. They are the enemies of our Constitution and our Bill of Rights. And we're going to have to throw them off one way or another. We have a hostile government. We have an invaded or an occupied government. They're occupied by criminals and crooks and cartels, and we've got to run them out. We just have to. But the first step is to understand that it's not one party or the other. It's both of them together. It's very important to understand that. And this piece is so good. It is 2 pages printed out. It's on the Substack, written by Emmanuel Pastrik. The Substack is Fear No Evil. Is the construction of data centers across the U.S. an act of war? And it's a great piece. It packs a punch, and we're going to end with that today. But first, let's take a look at Peter Schiff and what he had to say about the markets and what is going down with Bitcoin. Listen up.
Right. So I think it's not going to be that everybody starts selling. It's going to be that new people stop buying. And then as the price really starts to fall, maybe, I don't think the true believers, the hardcore Bitcoiners, they're not going to be phased by Bitcoin going from 60,000 to 40,000, right? They've seen that before, been there, done that, right? Bitcoin always comes back. That may not be the case for the people who just bought into the Bitcoin ETFs. I think they're going to be the first ones out, right? They were the last ones in. They're going to be the first ones out. They're not long-term hodlers, even if they bought the one with the symbol hodl. They're traders, I think. I mean, if they were real Bitcoin people, they would have bought years ago. They wouldn't have waited for an ETF. They got kind of suckered into it by the hype and the promotion, and they thought they could make some money. And that's going to be a big problem for Bitcoin too when the ETF starts to sell off, because if you go back and look at prior Bitcoin crashes, you always have a big influx of Tether. There's a lot of Tether, whether they're counterfeit Tether, we'll see. But Tether comes in and buys up Bitcoin, and that puts in a bottom. But when the ETFs start to liquidate, and now they have to take the Bitcoin that they own into the spot market and sell it, the buyer has to pay with real dollars. They can't pay with Tether. And there may not be enough of those that want to buy Bitcoin. And so I think that the next Bitcoin crash is going to be pretty big, because I think it's going to start in the ETFs, and it's going to exacerbate the decline when you have all these market orders. Sell me Bitcoin at the market, whatever the price is. No limits. Just get me out. By the end of the day, I have to get out. I can't wait till tomorrow. I have to be out today. And then of course, the buyers are like, well, I'm not buying. Everybody steps away, and it's a trap door. But so let's say now the ETF selling drives Bitcoin down to 10,000, right? Not 20,000, not 10,000. And now you look at these charts like, wait a minute, Bitcoin just went below the previous low. It's now lower than it was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. The trend is broken. I think at some point you're going to shake the confidence of the hodlers, who are going to be like, I don't know if it's going to come back again. Maybe this is different. And they're going to want to sell. And as it goes down, then you get the fear. Then you get, oh my God, I better get out before it's worthless, right? Even the diehards are like, I'm not going down with this ship. I mean, there are some people that say they're going to go down with the ship, but let's see what happens when it's actually sinking and they're, up to their neck. Are they really going to, finish and drown? Or are they going to try to salvage something? Because, there are people too that still bought in at much lower prices. So they can still sell Bitcoin at 5,000 and make a profit. There's not that many people left anymore that have a cost basis that low. But, there are going to be some of them. Are they going to let that turn into a loss, or are they going to sell? So I think the whole dynamic can change. Right now, everybody is very confident, very sure of themselves. They're all going to get rich. Everything else is a bunch of FUD. Tune it out. Guys like Peter Schiff or Warren Buffett or any person who talks sense is just a boomer who doesn't get it. We're trapped in the Stone Age. I mean, I just laugh. Online, all these people, Peter Schiff is smart about so many things, but he's an idiot about Bitcoin. It's like, no, if I'm smart about everything else, why would I be so dumb? It's like, well, if Peter only studied Bitcoin, so you think I haven't studied it? You don't think I haven't looked at it? They just can't accept the fact that I'm a smart guy who has looked at it, who has studied it, and just doesn't, believe it. I didn't drink the Kool-Aid.
And Peter Schiff has been absolutely hammered. I do not know another person who has been more relentlessly trolled by the Bitcoiners. And there's money behind Bitcoin. I mean, I have colleagues, and I know that they're taking money from Bitcoin. They passed a lot of money out to influencers, and if you pay attention, you can spot it. But over the past 2, 3, 4 years, they have really dumped a ton of money on this hype for Bitcoin. It reminds me of the money that was dumped to hype AI. It was never there. There's no there. It was never real. Bitcoin has never, ever, ever had utility. It's never, ever, ever been limited, right? There's always the fine print saying that they could add Bitcoin at any time that they want. We don't know who the biggest holders of Bitcoin are, and it's absolutely positively not private. We know that Bitcoin can be surveilled. It can be confiscated. It can be liquidated like this. So we've witnessed all of that. So all of the reasoning behind, well, everyone needs to get into Bitcoin has fallen apart. It is not a currency for the people. It is not the new greatest currency. It's totally over. And I think we're seeing the last gasps of Bitcoin. I think Peter Schiff is going to be proven completely right on this. LT Oracle of Truth, it's digital trash. I do not disagree with you. And if you watch and listen to the rhetoric of the Bitcoin evangelists. And I call them evangelists because there is a very weird religious, cultish aspect to people who are pushing Bitcoin. It has the mysterious founding, right? The mysterious guy Satoshi who wrote the manifesto, who created the Bitcoin, but no one knows who he is. And he has the largest share of all the Bitcoin, but no one knows who he is. And he promises he's never going to sell it. But if he does, it'll crash the entire thing, which is crazy in and of itself, right? But they talk about having faith in Bitcoin. They talk about Bitcoin being the savior of the world, right? This new saving currency that can never be controlled by corporations like BlackRock or governments, which is totally false because Bitcoin has partnered with the government through Trump Jr. and the Trump administration, who have been pimping Bitcoin for the past couple years. So they're saying it can never be corrupted like fiat currencies in the dollars. No, 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 no. You have to have faith in Bitcoin. And then they're just relentless. Like if you are like, no, I'm just going to sit this one out. I don't like Bitcoin. They're like, no, 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 no. You have attend the seminar. You have to travel across the country and spend 7 days being indoctrinated so that you understand what Bitcoin really is. I mean, I went through the whole thing. Because when I first started speaking out against it, not even against it, just basically like, I'm not playing, I'm not buying this. They were relentless. Like bot and troll armies were like launched at me, and they're all over Peter Schiff. Like I've never seen a guy get hammered more than Peter Schiff than I've seen during Bitcoin. In fact, that was when I really started reaching out to Peter to come on my show as a regular guest, because I'd been using his stuff for years, but I wasn't able to get him on the show because I was small potatoes and he's kind of a big deal. And so when I just marveled at, I mean, he would mess around with them. He didn't care what they had to say. He was just like, no, this is where I'm staying. And he did not move. He did not move. And I'm like, okay, that's a guest for the Shannon Joy Show. That's someone that we're going to listen to, because it takes a lot to stand in a truth space that you really believe is the truth space. Take all the slings and arrows, all of the hype, everyone calling you you're stupid, and just standing your ground and not moving. And so that's really what what really turned me on to Peter Schiff as a regular expert guest for the Shannon Joy Show. And so I reached out to him, and the rest is history. I said, hey, come on the show. He came on the show. I had him on about a half a dozen times. And then I said, you have to sponsor this show because I don't trust anyone else to send to for gold and silver. And so that's basically how that relationship was built. But I think that he's right about Bitcoin. And I think that we're going to see this absolutely play out in the next couple months and years with Bitcoin, maybe sooner. All right. So yeah, I see you. Jen Patton. Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin and devised the first blockchain database. If you translate that name into English, you get intelligence from a central origin. Very interesting. Yeah, a psyop, intelligence. LT Oracle of Truth. Bitcoin is as fake as AI. Don't disagree. I just never went down the Bitcoin route. Oh, Strident Conservative. I'm so glad that I see you. David Leach, the Strident Conservative, is on the SJ live chat on Rumble. By the way, if you guys are watching right now, please give the SJ show a thumbs up. Join the live chat. Say hello. I want to say hello to all of you. Leave a comment. This is how we generate new listeners, new viewers, and work that algorithm. It's the best way to grow the Shannon Joy Show. So if you're watching right now and you have not said hello to me on the live chat, I know you're out there. I know you're feeling a little shy. I want to say hello back to you. So if you're out there and you're watching, get on that live chat right now and say hello, because I want to say hello back to you. Mod Trend, great to see you. Cotton 33, hello. So good to see you. And thank you for joining the live chat. It's a wonderful live chat, and I'm really glad that you are here with all of us. So Cotton 33, welcome to the show. Hey, Skillful Lark, great to see you. Love it. LT Oracle of Truth is welcoming Cotton onto the live chat. And I'm gonna take a look at YouTube as well. And we'll say hello to all of you who are watching on YouTube. All right, we have about 15 minutes left in the Shannon Joy Show before we get to the construction of the data centers and the question about whether or not this is an act of war, right? Is our own government hostile? Are the calls coming from inside the house? We're going to look at that in just a moment. But first, I do want to thank our sponsors over at the Wellness Company. I cannot tell you how much I love the ivermectin cream from the Wellness Company. twc.health/joy, twc.health/joy. My son has just started using the ivermectin cream and he loves it. Not only is it controlling his acne, he had adolescent onset acne, really struggled with it in his junior year, his sophomore, junior year. We battled it. We've gotten it under control, but he still has occasional outbreaks and he still has the residual redness and scarring from those really difficult years, which has been frustrating for him. Recently put him on the ivermectin, and not only is it keeping his skin perfectly clear, he came to me this morning and he said, Mom, in just a couple days, I've already noticed that the redness and the scarring that I deal with every day is going away. It's actually reducing that redness from the scarring, which is unbelievable. That's something that I had to do. I had adult onset acne in my mid to late 20s, and the scarring was really bad. And it took me years of microneedling with PRP to reduce all of the bumps and all of the redness at the bottom half of my face. This is being cured by ivermectin. The ivermectin cream, my son is using it. I use it as well for rosacea. If you're older and you're beginning to get that redness throughout your cheeks and on your nose and around your mouth, and it's really bothering you, the ivermectin cream knocks it out in as little as the first use. I noticed a huge difference within a day or two. So you can get that on discount from the Wellness Company. It's one of their best products. twc.health/joy. That is twc.health/joy. It's an amazing product. You only need a little bit, and I would say that one container could probably last at least 6 months, maybe longer. I only use mine a couple times a week, and it keeps everything at bay. So I think once you take care of it, it's just amazing. Mr. Worthless Eater, my complexion is shot. You need to try it. Absolutely. Skillful Lark, get a UV light to use in the mirror with the lights off. That will allow you to see any rash under the skin before it gets bad enough to appear with lights on. Treat it early. Very interesting. I love that. Very good. So let's finish off the show with this piece, which is linked in the show notes of the Shanna and Joy show. And the question that we're posing is this: is the construction of data centers across the United States an act of war? It was posited by Emmanuel Pastreak on his Substack, Fear No Evil. And this piece, every so often you get a piece that just packs a punch. It's 2 pages printed out, but the sentiment is something that I think we need to seriously consider. And I think it's a new posture that we need to adopt. That indeed, those who run things in Washington, D.C. are hostile to the American people. They are hostile to our Constitution of the United States of America, and they are hostile to our Bill of Rights. And they seek to plunder, to steal from us, and to take our land. They also seek to enslave us in a digital, techno-fascist surveillance state. I think it's very obvious what they're trying to do. And what does that look like? So this piece was good. And I'm going to refer to it as we close out the show today. And I would encourage you guys to click on the link, download it, and share it out with people that you know as well. Emmanuel writes this: data centers financed. I mean, he starts out with just such clarity. I love it. Data centers financed by the fake money created by the Federal Reserve and other corrupt global financial institutions, not to mention the pensions of ordinary people, are going up everywhere. The rush to construct these temples to technological control and manipulation can only be described as military in nature. These data centers are obviously not meant to help you or help you store data or make communications convenient for average citizens. They use up such a massive amount of water and electricity, they will not be viable for more than a few years, despite their massive scale and the massive investment dedicated to their construction. No one wants them. And the efforts to oppose them are being stymied at every step to a degree that suggests that it is classified Homeland Security directives, not the actions of judges and politicians, that are blocking the protests of the citizens. Building data centers is a military operation. Writes Emmanuel Pastrik in this piece. Is the construction of data centers across the US an act of war? On the Substack Fear No Evil. He says building data centers is a military action, one not unlike the military intelligence implementation of COVID-19 as described in the COVID dossier. The construction, that's Sasha Latipova, by the way. The construction is carried out in an extremely rapid manner and then force-fed to the entire population. The move is tactical, and it lines up with the construction of concentration camps by ICE that can be quickly upgraded to death camps under the right circumstances for the government. These data centers will be centers that coordinate the use of drones, robots, and other weapons using data from satellites and CCTV cameras to track down and kill potentially large numbers, if not perhaps tens of millions of people. And I could see that happening in the future. It will be easier to do so in the United States of America, he writes, than the West Bank or Lebanon, because Americans are so completely unprepared, and many have had their minds destroyed by decades of corporate media crap and narcissistic consumer culture. That bites, but I think it resonates. The data centers are not meant to last more than a few years, because this operation is not going to last long, writes Emmanuel. But those who speak out about the real threat only attribute it to evil men and to bad apples. None of them are willing to consider the fact that the impending collapse will mean that the earth cannot support more than 1 billion people or less, and that the billionaires are doing everything in their power to consolidate control, because for them, it truly is a matter of life and death. And that would explain the private islands, Ivanka Trump's private island in the Mediterranean. It would explain the bunkers. It would explain the bug out billionaires who are building bunkers on private islands. It would explain all of that. Now, I don't believe that the apocalypse is coming. I don't believe that the world can't handle 8 billion people. I think it's ridiculous. In fact, I think the entire population of the world, I believe, I've done this before, I could be wrong, but I believe that the entire population of the world could be fit in the state of Texas, each person on 1 acre or something like that. I haven't done the math in a while, but the point being that we have a lot of people on the earth, but the earth is completely capable of handling a lot of people. So I don't think that the apocalypse is coming. I think that they are using the apocalypse coming to justify the consolidation of their power and their wealth and more control over everything. That's what they do. That's what they do. But I think that this makes a lot of sense. And I would agree 100% that this appears to be a military countermeasure. And it makes sense that Donald Trump declared an emergency regarding the build out of artificial intelligence and the race, the AI arms race with China. He also declared an emergency regarding energy in the United States of America as well. So there are emergency, and I should probably look into the variety of emergency declarations that Donald Trump has put in place since he was inaugurated in January of 2024, because I think those are going to be important in scoping out, where they are going, where they are deploying these military interventions or countermeasures. So this is something that I will be talking about with Sasha Latipova when we have her on, not next week, but the week after, and we will discuss this. And I think it's interesting that he mentioned the COVID dossier, because the COVID dossier is Sasha Latipova's work. So very interesting. Emmanuel Pastrik, Fear No Evil. The title of this is The Construction of Data Centers Across the U.S. an Act of War. I believe that they are. And I think that we should change our posture in dealing with our government, understanding that they are hostile to our Constitution, we the people, and our God-given natural right to pursue happiness, to own property, and to be free. And we have to start fighting for that, and we will. So that's it, guys. That is the show for today. Oh man, I'm going to get out of here in exactly 1 hour and 30 minutes. I'm trying to discipline myself to start on time and end on time. So the SJ show is on Monday through some Fridays from about 12:15 p.m. to about 1:55 p.m. And it's supposed to be 90 minutes long. A lot of times I go over. I'm going to try not to. And I think we did pretty good. We did pretty well today. So I want to thank all of you for being with us today on the SJ Show. Everything that we talked about today is linked in the show notes of the Shannon Joy Show. Make sure you sign up for the SJ email newsletter at my website, theshannonjoy.com. That's theshannonjoy.com. It's the best way for all of you to get a hold of me and to be connected to this show in case we get deplatformed, which we have many times. So you're going to head over to theshannonjoy.com, sign up for the SJ daily email newsletter, and we send that out every day so that you never miss a Shannon Joy Show live and that you have access to all of the sources and the articles and the videos that we feature every day on the Shannon Joy Show. So make sure you do that right now. If you are not linked up, I want to hear from all of you. So thank you guys for watching today. Tomorrow, we are going to have a Shannon Joy Show, but I'm going to be broadcasting from my home. So it's going to be loosey-goosey, unscripted, no producer, no show prep, just you and me chatting about what's going on in the headlines. And so we're going to do that. Yes, you're all now dishmished. You're so funny. Yes, I got to go home and make sure that my kids have not wrecked my kitchen. I leave the house literally, as you guys know, I started the show out complaining. I love my kids. I'm glad they're home. They're amazing. I love when they come home from the summer, but they're animals and they destroy my house. And the pressure that they put on the kitchen is just insane. And so I'm going to have to head home and see what they were able to mess up while I was gone. I leave the house for literally an hour and I come back and it's like, an atom bomb exploded on the kitchen. So yeah, we're going to broadcast from the bunker tomorrow, clones on the SJ Show. I like broadcasting from my home, from my kitchen actually. And it's just super fun. Mark the Regan, great show, Shannon, but the chat was even better. The SJ chat on Rumble is a show in and of itself and highly entertaining. And I take a look at it all the time, especially in the breaks. You guys are great. Yep, I'm going to have the clean sink homes. Here, let's take a look. This is what's going on at my house. Hold on. Well, no, we'll do that tomorrow. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you to our sponsors. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all again right here on The Shannon Joy Show.